Capricorn, welcome back for your August reading. I trust that the retrograde is treating you well. Now, if you're new, welcome. Now, let's see the energy that's coming through with you guys. And I've pulled the cards ahead of time, and that's for time. I do live readings as well, monthly. So, I generally try and upload a pre-video to inform people, but click the bell and then you'll get updates. And then in these areas, of blocks and different planets, etc., you get the updates and I can interact with you guys directly. If you're wanting a booking, however, you can go through to the website, which the link is below. And if you're needing an emergency booking, you can email me as well, because 9 times out of 10, there's a 13-hour gap. So that's so I can prepare my schedule and give my time to those people. But there is a wide range of services and times available. And there's also a spiritual shop if you need anything to do with smudge sticks, etc. Now, the energy that you're coming into the month with is what's going to be highlighted is what's working and what's not, what is overwhelming and where you need to change things. Now, retrograde with certain planets feels heavy, but it's more so this year. This year is very much a foundation year, but the energy is going to ease up after August, where the things we've learned we're going to be applying, and we're going to have that forward motion. We're going to have that small pocket there where we can start utilizing the tools to be more self-aware of what has been serving us and what hasn't. Now, that can be from old energies from 8 years ago. It can also be a strict, stern talking to ourselves about, okay, well, what's working, what's not, how am I feeling about this? Chiron's dark waters might be coming up as well. For you, you're stuck. So you're like, where are you stuck? What do you need to get out of? What is working, what's not? And the funny thing was, when I was shuffling the cards, the first thing I was thinking is love. Now, when I'm talking about love for you, it can be what you're passionate about, what you're not passionate about, and you just want to simplify life right back. And you're thinking it's too much. Now, it can be that you just physically want to move, where you just want to run away and move to the hills, quite metaphorically speaking. Or you want to disconnect because you're meditating. Now, work for you guys seems very heavy energetically, but that's because of the energies of the planet. So it can actually be the 3D nature of the work environment, or what you're working towards, or the emotions you're working through. So just be gentle with yourself during this time. You do have the tools and the actions, but it might be all action and it's exhausting you. Or it could be where other people aren't acting as well. So, what passionate pursuits are you following? To keep the root chakra, it can be family-related dynamics, old family triggers coming up, where, it can be overactive or underactive. Now, if there's a block, it's going to be shown to you. You may, due to a past tense event in a family-related dynamic or from childhood, be overcompensating or trying to better something which has become exhausting, and you're needing to get out of that kind of mindset or the old energy of it and balance that energy out. But you are ready. So your passions, your pursuits, your vices, you're ready to look at these areas. You're ready to assess them, to do the work. Now, although you may cast situations to a point where you're filing them, to implement the changes can become problematic. So over getting frustrated of the situation, try and come to a point where you make an action plan or make decisions, and then if it's delayed, don't take it personal, because come the end of August, it's going to be a perfect time to move it forward. But even the realization of these things is going to be divinely guided. It's also where your prosperity lies, whether you're working too much and you're not having enough time for love. Again, it's getting the balance back. And it can be that you're following too strictly to your belief systems, and they're going to be challenged this month as well. So although, going to that might be taking you away from your 3D life. So, invest a little bit of time in you as well and try and keep the balance there. Because although you might be passionate about certain areas of your life, it can mean that we're avoiding other aspects of our life. So if it's something we're doing quite regularly, it's not to say don't do it. It's just to pay attention during those times of what that is, so that you can be mindful and maybe write some tasks down so that when you stop doing that thing, that is your routine or your life value system, that you can actually go, okay, I'm going to apply 10 minutes to that energy of what I've been avoiding. Now, in your money area, it feels, again, you're quite passionate about it, but it can be a very confusing time. It can be, why do people want me to be this? Passion driven, and, money hungry or any of that energy. And maybe it's not that was you, it's that's what it became. So again, remember, we're going back 8 years for some of us. It might be related to this area, what you were doing 8 years ago, and any karmic lessons you need to learn from that time. There might be trigger points in the money sector coming up there. It may be that you've been doing the job for that long and, or you did a transition over that time and you're seeing where you've come to in a good or bad way. It can also be that because we are traveling back to family, that this was the mindset family held and that's what it created. So now you're getting the balance back in that area. But it is a very abundant time. But don't sell yourself to the devil. And when I'm saying that, I'm meaning you're not all money. Yes, anything we need, it is a give and take and it's a providing of services, etc. But it's like you're working so hard, you feel a slave to the job. You need to have a little bit of time out. So even if it's having a day off to just do nothing, do such. In your health area, again, money. Your health is being impacted by the money. So it might be that you're so driven by this goal, the retrograde is going to slow you down, but it might be that you're using all your energy to push this uphill. And it's hard at the moment because we're in retrograde, because it's asking you, what happens is in those areas, Saturn's really strict. Most of the planets that are retrograde at the moment are asking us to question our spiritual belief system, and that can be our value system and how we apply ourselves to our life, our routines. It can also be our mindsets, our emotional triggers, and why we do particular things. So it could be that in order to control our vibration and our feeling inside ourselves, we submerge ourselves in things, which is the same situation as an addiction. It's like we usually do swap one habit for another. Even when we're trying to become healthy, we theoretically are swapping one habit for another. And it can become addictive. So to keep that balance, the mindfulness is required. So just be mindful that, try and keep that balance. And it's going to be hard pushing that energy to a point where you're gaining all that success. And if you are, it might be to the detriment of your health. Again, because you're wanting to be the leader in your department, and that's fine. But again, understand that if you're finding it's not moving, it's not going to. It's that balance your chakras, understand this is a time of the foundation and the planning of it, and then it will pivot forward. But try and keep your health on check, because it feels like you're not paying attention to certain things in your health area. And it can be a family DNA related situation that is actually having this come through. It may be that you're super strict on your diet at the moment and you're really, really pushing yourself in your exercise and you're being too strict to the point. And it may be because of the industry you're in or the type of work you do that is causing that kind of energy to be very driven through you. Now, in the work area, it can be that you're trying to get the balance, you're trying to be fair in the situation, and it can be that you're so delayed in your contracts or your work that you're trying to be fair towards them. You need to be fair towards yourself, because if it's going to impact your health and you're working too hard, although they might be your obligations, because again, some of the planets are asking us, where are we willing to take responsibility? And where are we not willing to take responsibility? So try and keep the balance in that area, because it is really causing a lot. You're really overdoing it. It might be you're not letting other people take responsibility in the other departments, or people aren't picking up after themselves. So it may be throat chakra and your mindset conditioning connected to your family. So it can be we come into a life where we have very strict parents, and they have an ideal or a mindset about, you know, how you apply yourself in your life, the expectations one should hold on themselves, and then we reapply that in every area of our life. Yet we have theoretically maybe held different value systems, but not really addressed them, but still continued with that mindset and that tradition of family unknowingly. So now is going to be highlighted where we look at it and go, well, do we hold that value, or was that our family conditioning and our mindset back then, and is it relevant now? That's not to say it's bad. It's just asking you to think. Spiritually speaking, you want everything to be perfect, everything to be in harmony, everything to be love. And you're trying to make everyone happy, but spiritually you need to be happy. You maybe have some ideas about what is going to make you happy. And again, it's almost like the Lionsgate portal, because I'm noticing kind of the mental piece and the, you know, going through into what you feel is going to be passionate for you. And you're loyal to situations, but sometimes it hasn't come across that way. But you're very loyal to the internal truth and the calling for you, and you're following that. It's going to take you to be very brave to move through this, and you are a very brave person. You can be seeing synchronicities. This can be of birds, and you coming to a dual place. It can be also an anniversary of someone passing and their energy is around you. Now, in the love domain, your energy. Now, this is couples and singles, whoever you're thinking about the quadrant. So you are being fair. You're looking at the bigger picture of how your life has done a 360. Now you're considering, what are you going to do from here? Now, when you look at other videos, be mindful that because our minds are going backwards during the retrograde, emotionally, spiritually, and we're looking over old energies, some of the energies in particular readings, what people may not be aware is, because when you tap in psychically, you're tapping into what you're tuning into at that point in time. If you're asked to look at different areas, you can, and you can see the different blocks. Because we're going backwards and our minds are going to be there, and in dark places, these things are going to come through in your reading. They're going to be shown to you. So when you look at other readers, be mindful that that information that comes through might not be something that's happening in a 3D nature right now, could very much be an area that was past tense that's morphing here for you to reflect upon. So you're seeing where you were and weren't fair, where you need to do things to change, to move life forward in a romantic sense, and you're looking at things very balanced now. And if this isn't so, it's coming, trust me. Now, this person who you were dealing with, or who you are thinking about, or who you have in your life, they can be very direct. They can be very straightforward. Now, that can be good or bad, depending on how you actually look at this human being. The energy between you. This was past tense or now, because remember, we're going retrograde. You want the balance. You know you want the balance. You may have had the balance before. You want the balance back. You want it to go to that next level. You see the higher aspects of things. We are going through trigger points of ascension symptoms, etc. We're raising to the next level. We've got to raise the bar. Now, it might have kept you in doubt about what to do and how to apply yourself. And I feel you guys to be in deep meditation. Like I said, you're trying to keep busy at work, but you're actually thinking on this. You're thinking of your love life. Like how you did great, how you feel you criticised yourself and critiqued yourself, where things could change, where they could change. You're summing everything up. Where you overdid things, and this is both of you. Because as a collective, we are, the person you're tuning into, their vibration is very much, they're direct. They know exactly what they want, they can speak very quickly, and they're very driven. But they're looking. Look how they're looking up. Something always pops out to me in a card. They're looking up and they're reflecting. How did I react? How was I reacting? So they're being mindful of how they reacted. And they may feel at times they might have been coming from a place of having the wall up and actually relating to you. So they're doing this reflective work. So, you know, if you know their zodiac sign, go and look at the video and see what's going on with them. Now, trigger points can be coming up where you gave too much energy to something, where you overdid things, where you got to the point it was reaching a 10 before it even had that cycle. So slow down, you know, be careful of your vices during this time, especially during the retrograde, because if we're not coping with energies, we can become very fatigued. And especially if you're consuming alcohol, etc., with all the energy you're depleting, you're going to get very run down. And this is both sides, okay? But it might be that the disconnect emotionally is there for you to cope with these energies. And it can also be a lot of socialization in a time where we are very tired. Be careful with the communication during this time as well, because cross wires are really coming through. Now, the blocks of what is hurting you. Now, this can be childhood, remember, because we are looking back here. A passing of someone who was very relevant. And I did say I felt an energy of someone around you. This could be the thing that is blocking you. And it can be the aspect of death. And where have I got to? And you're critiquing yourself and saying, gosh, I thought I would have had my shit together by now. I thought I would have been 20 years ahead of where I should be right now. What's blocking you is that energy. It can also be that you're not allowing an old energy to die away because you're not addressing it and looking at it. So try and, you know, endings is summing energy up and being able to face it, however challenging it is, and releasing it, not casting a heavy judgment on yourself. Just it happened, it's done. You did the very best you could with the tools and the actions you had at that point in time, and you're spiritually and emotionally ready to move forward. So try not to be hard on yourself. Now, the unseen. Now, for you, you're the only zodiac sign so far that's had 2 jump out. The unseen is something you know is coming, but you don't know when it's going to come. But you're aware something's coming, and you don't know when it's coming, but you know it's coming. So this is what's highlighted. You feel you have lost hope, but then again, you know it's coming. So whatever you're fearing or think is coming, yes, it is. And yes, you may have lost hope, but it is coming. Now, if you guys are wanting a booking, like I said, you can go to the link below. Otherwise, stay tuned for the live sessions on YouTube. I do them regularly for support in different groups, and I'm going to be doing different style videos that are going to help us work with our blocks, keep us up to date with astrology, releasing energies. We're going to be doing those each Monday of the month. And there will be also challenges we can set for ourselves so that we can work through these energies. And it can be at a manifestation level. It can also be at a motivational level. Love and light.